Welcome to News Mongolia. We will bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batserin Namshar. For our top stories, Prime Minister L.Oyun-Erdene discusses strengthening relations with Bahrain's Crown Prince. A Mongolian classical music concert was held in the United States. Mongolian children excel at an international junior pianists competition. For the news, stay tuned. In a significant diplomatic development, Prime Minister of Mongolia L.Oyun-Erdene met with the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Bahrain Salman bin Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa to express Mongolia's interest in enhancing relations and cooperation with Bahrain. The discussions were framed with the context of Mongolia's foreign policy priorities, particularly strengthening ties with Gulf countries, including Bahrain.
Both sides emphasized the potential to deepen their bilateral relations, focusing on sectors such as trade, the economy, investment, mining, agriculture, environmental protection, climate change, and combating desertification. Mongolia's government has set ambitious goals for 2024 through 2028, including implementing 14 major development projects and reforms in key areas like social welfare, the economy, and the legal system. Prime Minister Erdene highlighted the importance of collaboration in mineral resources, renewable energy, tourism, and urban development, which are expected to yield mutual benefits. The two leaders also discussed ways to boost private sector cooperation and facilitate business partnerships. Both agreed to support initiatives to foster collaboration between chambers of commerce and industry and expand educational exchanges between the two nations. The leaders expressed their shared commitment to enhancing business and educational cooperation to strengthen ties between Mongolia and Bahrain.
The Embassy of Mongolia in the United States organized the Mongolia Classic Concert in Washington, D.C. on December 4th at the Lisner Auditorium at George Washington University. The event commemorated the 100th anniversary of the proclamation of Mongolian People's Republic and the adoption of Mongolia's first constitution, highlighting the country's rich cultural heritage and its evolving connection to the global community.
The concert was the first of its kind in the United States and featured some of Mongolia's cultural envoys and prominent artists. The event played a significant role in promoting Mongolia's culture and arts, particularly the development of Mongolian classical arts. Through music, it built bridges of understanding and appreciation between the people of Mongolia and the United States. For the first time in the United States, we showcased that Mongolia not only has classical arts, but also boasts a wide variety of genres, even incorporating traditional Mongolian folk songs into classical performances. Personally, I see this as a significant milestone. In the future, I hope many talented Mongolian singers will captivate international audiences, perform in venues like Washington's Kennedy Center Concert Hall, and continue building on this foundation we have set today. The concert featured classical works by renowned Mongolian and international composers, as well as pieces by prominent U.S. composers. It was an extraordinary blend of musical traditions, bringing Eastern and Western styles together in a way that deeply resonated with a diverse audience.
The whole performance has been electric. It's been a wonderful performance. It's been a combination of both traditional opera, singing, but with Mongolian music, and it's been wonderful. And the emotion that came across, the costumes, the dress of the individuals, very bright, colorful, and very somber, wonderful mixture. And that's something that I hope that I can enjoy again in the future.
Organized at the initiative of the Embassy of Mongolia in the United States, with support from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, the concert exemplified the growing cultural exchange between the two nations. By showcasing the talent and creativity of Mongolian artists, the event laid the groundwork for future collaborations and inspired a shared appreciation for the arts.
Young Mongolian pianists achieved a remarkable success at the prestigious International Junior Pianists competition in the Czech Republic, showcasing their exceptional talent and earning top honors. With participation from across the globe, the event highlighted Mongolia's growing presence in the world of professional classical music.
The International Junior Pianist Competition for professional pianists under 16, established in 1968, was held at the North Bohemian Opera and Ballet Theatre in the Czech Republic. Last year's grand prize winner, 9-year-old Bae Guying, who represented Mongolia, became the best of the best. He was invited to perform at the opening ceremony of the 57th competition, playing alongside a Czech orchestra. Performing on a large international stage with an orchestra and hearing the audience's applause was truly an amazing experience. A concert featuring the best artists in the independent category was held during the event. Participants from Serbia, the Czech Republic, and Mongolia were awarded major prizes. 15 children represented Mongolia. Among them, Ge Batmarg won first place in the first category, with special mentions awarded to In Tanango and Is Purupsurung. In the second category, Ailho received a special mention, while Te Amarbayr claimed third place in the third category. In the fourth category, O Nendeng secured second place.
Last year, when only 2 teachers came, they highlighted how it was a large group of Mongolians. This year, we have 5 teachers participating. The competitions this year were of a much higher professional level, and so our teachers were actively involved in challenging the students.
The International Junior Pianists Competition is renowned for bringing together young talents from around the world and serves as a platform for emerging professional artists.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed Friedrich Merz, Germany's conservative opposition leader and likely next chancellor, for talks in Kiev on Monday. During the meeting, Zelensky emphasized the importance of Europe's position in communications with the United States. He also commented on a recent meeting with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris.
We are very grateful to the French side for providing such a trilateral meeting. It is certainly very important to have constant communication on an ongoing basis with the American side. It is incredibly important for us to communicate and develop future steps together with the European position. Here I completely agree with Mr. Merz. This is important for us because Ukraine has security guarantees in the future. This is not only NATO, this is also economic security, geopolitical security. This is the European Union. Here the role of European countries is very important.
Following the trilateral weekend meeting in Paris, Trump pushed Putin to act to reach an immediate ceasefire with Ukraine, describing it as a part of his active efforts as president-elect to end the war. In a television interview that aired Sunday, Trump also said he would be open to reducing military aid to Ukraine and pulling the United States out of NATO. Those are 2 threats that have alarmed Ukraine, NATO allies, and many in the U.S. national security community. Trump's call for an immediate ceasefire went beyond the public policy stance taken by the Biden administration and Ukraine and drew a cautious response from Zelensky. It also marks Trump wading unusually deeply into efforts before his January 20th inauguration to resolve one of the major global crises facing the lame duck Biden administration.
When we talk about the frozen conflict, if between us, then we talked about it. I said that we, more than anyone in the world, want the end of the war. And certainly a diplomatic end to the war will save more lives, and we want that. But I emphasized to President Macron and President Trump that first of all, you will see that Putin does not want the end of this war, so he must be forced. You can only force it if Ukraine is strong. Ukraine is strong before any diplomacy, it is strong on the battlefield.
Zelensky on Monday said he was planning to call Biden to discuss Ukraine's invitation to join NATO.
In an NBC interview taped Friday, President-elect Donald Trump renewed his warning to NATO allies that he did not see continued U.S. participation in the Western military alliance as a given during his second term.
Sir, will the United States stay in NATO while you're in office?
In where?
NATO. Do you commit that the United States will remain a member of NATO while you're in office?
Again, they have to pay their bills. If they pay their bills, absolutely.
But not if they don't pay their bills.
But NATO's taken advantage of us because we were look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. It's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Trump has long complained that European and the Canadian governments in the mutual defense bloc are freeloading on military spending by the U.S., by far the most powerful partner in NATO. NATO and its member governments say a majority of countries in the bloc are now hitting voluntary targets for military spending, due in part to pressure from Trump in his first term. Asked whether he would consider the possibility of pulling out of NATO, Trump indicated that was an open question.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer visited the preserved 15th century mud brick city of Et Tareif during his trip to Saudi Arabia. The site was the first capital of the Saudi dynasty, and Starmer was shown the remains of the 15th century Najdi-era citadels and palaces.
UK Prime Minister Starmer visited the site after holding talks with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh. Later, Starmer, accompanied by the Mayor of North East England, Kim McCannis, held talks with business leaders. The aim of the trip to the Gulf is to increase investment and deepen defense and security ties, according to a government statement. It follows a visit to the United Arab Emirates, where he met President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Stability in the Middle East is also expected to be discussed during the visit, including the pressing need for a ceasefire between Israel and Gaza, the release of all hostages, and the urgent acceleration of aid into Gaza, the statement added. The Gulf states are major investors in the UK, with trade between Britain and the United Arab Emirates worth £23 billion or $29.3 billion, and that with Saudi Arabia estimated at £17 billion. After Saudi, Starmer will travel to Cyprus to meet President Nikos Christodoulides on Tuesday to discuss closer cooperation on shared security challenges in the region, the statement added.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.